right, is that based on how we grow up, whether we see something or don't see it, right, we have a kind of expectation of what we want or how things should be, right? How you two are raised is probably what you see as normal, right? And if you wasn't raised around normal, you would have got your version of normal from something. So to me, it was watching my wife and kids, The Cosby Show, Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
I would watch those programs, yeah, and to me, it would be, I want to be that kind of dad.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Family Podcast with your two favorite brothers. My name is Sammy.
My name is Don.
And welcome, everybody. Now, we got the king of co-parenting.
Hey.
Oh, titles now, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
So, Aaron.
I think you should let him be known, yeah?
Why have you done it already?
Yeah, no. I was about to say, I think you should let it be known, yeah, that he's never failed an episode still.
Yeah, no, it's true. So, before we moved on to Buzzsprout, innit, your episodes were ranked the highest. Just the highest.
That's pressure, though.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
was
pressure.
saying.
Like, times have changed now, innit?
Yeah. So, Aaron, if you just give a brief introduction into yourself, innit, and then we'll kind of talk about why co-parenting is kind of important to you, and we'll go from there.
You know my problem, yeah? Whenever I talk about myself, like my partner said this all the time, yeah? I'm too humble, yeah? So she's like, you need to own your stuff, innit? Like, if you're doing this, say it with your chest.
Yeah.
Because, like, so I work full-time. I work for the government full-time, but some of my side, I guess, hustles are, I used to be a personal trainer, but then I dived into youth mentoring, bringing fitness into schools and working with kids. However, I started a page called Raising Boys to Men, probably about, 3 years ago now, because I think that's when we first connected.
Yeah.
It was about 3 years ago, and it was just to highlight the journey of me and my two children, my two sons, who are from two different relationships. And over time, people started to gravitate towards us and my honesty and started to ask me personal questions about co-parenting and my opinion on certain things. So then from there, recently, I decided to start kind of going into co-parent coaching. So whenever I say that, I'll be like, yeah, I work for the government and I'm kind of going into co-parent coaching. Like, I'm not saying it with my chest, you know what I mean? Like, no, going into co-parent coaching, too many people are coming to me asking for my one-to-one advice. So why not create something that can provide that to people and also profit off it? So yeah, that's kind of me.
So when you think about the word like father or dad, innit, what does that mean to you now?
Responsibility, massive responsibility. Me personally, I grew up with just my mum, right? So as a kid, the word father or dad meant absent. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, like, they're not around. Like, my dad, so going into it, like, and again, my dad might hear this, his family might hear this, but I'm going to be honest, it's my story, I'm going to own it. But growing up, it was me and my mum, and we lived on an estate. And within that estate, my dad lived with his other family. Yeah, so you could say that my dad was in a relationship, stepped out of that relationship. I'm the result of him stepping out of the relationship.
Oh, okay.
And he went back into the relationship.
Yeah.
And therefore, I was the mistake. And because of that, even though we're in the same estate, we got to forget about that kid over there.
Man.
So growing up, my dad literally, we left the estate when I was about 9. Moved to a different estate. I remember my dad coming to see me when I was 9, took me KFC. And
Bargain, yeah.
listen, chicken, innit? So I was like, you know what? That's probably why I'm plant-based now, you know. man took me KFC, yeah. And my mum, because of his inconsistencies, whenever my dad would show up, my mum would never let him in the house. Yeah. So anytime I would see my dad, it would be going out of the house to get in his car. So I remember going out of the house, getting in his car, going to KFC and hearing the story of, sorry, I haven't been around. It's going to be different this time. Man got me a 2-piece meal. And I'm like, I'm believing it, yeah? Chicken, words, everything, I'm believing it. Yeah. I didn't see him again until I was 16.
Oh,
so,
mad.
Chicken, when I was 9, with all these words, man disappeared until I was 16. At which point he got my number through a family member and I just got a random call one day. Yes, your dad? So I let him back in, but again, inconsistencies. And to this day, he's seen his grandchildren once and that was because we bumped into him in Sainsbury's.
Is
Oh, mad.
That's nuts. So do you
Yeah.
do you feel like maybe he feels bad, or I know it's hard to speak for a man, innit? But
Right, you know what it is. So like, for me, I had when Tyler was born. So that's my youngest, right? So that was, let's say, 8 years ago. I said enough's enough. I need closure. All right. So I actually, let me take you back. So Tyler's mum was pregnant, right? She was due any week, and I get a call, basically, from someone that used to be like a close friend, basically telling me, your family don't want to know you, innit? That side of the family, like, because I think I must have friend requested my sister, and I must have, I was trying to touch base, and I basically got confirmation they don't claim you as their brother. Yeah, stop bothering them.
Oh,
from a friend.
Yeah, from a friend who was now with my sister.
Okay.
So it's like, they don't claim you as their brother, to like, basically you don't exist. Stop bothering them. So I was like, wow. Like, I went home, and I remember, I'll be real, I went home and there was this weight that came off my shoulders, as if to say, like, it's done, innit? Like, it's done. And I cried. I released it. It was like, I cried, and then I was like, I need to go gym. I need to release this kind of anger. Within 10 minutes of me crying, Tyler's mum's water broke.
Oh,
Yeah.
mad.
Wow.
So now I'm like, I ain't even got time to process this. So
Yeah.
I'm in the car. I'm like, wait, that man just wanted to go gym, innit? Like, and to me, I was like, that's God's way of saying, forget the family that don't want you.
You're about to step into
A
brand new
a
one.
brand
yeah.
new one. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's that part.
Do you feel like you've forgiven him, or
So like, that's where I was going, right? So Tyler's born. I'm like, I need closure. I get hold of his number. I call him up. He comes. We sit in the car together. I'm like, look, man to man, yeah. Why was you so shit? Basically, why was you so shit? Do you know what I mean? Like, let's really talk about it. He basically blamed everything on his partner.
Oh,
man.
Yeah, didn't claim it at all. You know what? I didn't have a choice. Like, my life would have been difficult otherwise. And I just looked at him and I thought, that's not, like, it don't matter. Like, you're not. That's like, be a man, innit? Like, in my sense, like, it don't matter if you step out. Like, own that.
Yeah.
And like, I knew that he had half brothers himself. Yeah, he had half siblings. So like, and they all know each other. So why would you not bring your children together? So that was the last time. That was like 8 years ago that I sat with him, and I was like, at that point, I'm not gonna get anything more out of him. Do you know what I mean? So therefore, I released that. Like, I don't hold no judgment. I just let it go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, I always think to myself, I don't know, because we're so family orientated, isn't it? It's always hard for me to hear situations like that. But I suppose, do you think that that's almost what turned you into an adult?
I feel growing up, just being me and my mum, yeah, like, seeing my mum have to work so hard to cover for, like, the absence of someone. Do you know what I mean? Like, my nan raised me as well, but I was raised by just pretty much women, and like, those women are amazing. My nan passed away 2005, so when I was like 20. So it's just literally been me and my mum, and I've always felt that I need to, like, I am the man of the house, even from a young age. Do you know what I mean? I need to do this. I need to make sure that I'm on point. So the protector role I've taken on from a teenager, like, but even, like, I'll be honest again, like, my mum met someone when I was about 13, and that was my first experience of living with a man, and I felt that was a really rushed relationship. Like, out of nowhere, he was kind of living with us, and he turned out to be abusive. So
man.
again, my example of a man is like, all right, you're either not there, or when you are there, you're putting hands on me and my mum. So I remember one incident. I was about 13, and I woke up and he was kicking off. Yeah, so I've run to protect my mum, and he's grabbed me up. Yeah, grabbed me up, held me against the wall, and then my mum's kind of said, just go. So I've had to go to school.
Mm.
So imagine going to school and that was the last
In your head,
in
yeah.
your head. So you're at school now, you can't concentrate. You're thinking,
Mm.
is mum okay? Is mum okay? Then I remember them both picking me up and sending me to my nan's, saying you're gonna go stay at your nan's for a couple of days. I'm like, what have I done?
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Mad,
mean? But
yeah.
that was my mum protecting me. So yeah, my examples of men growing up, terrible.
Mad. So there was really nobody who.
No, I looked to the elders in it. Like I looked to some of my friends' dads, and I've always said my barber, call him uncle. Yeah, my barber was like a father figure to me. Like the barber shop is where I spoke to older men. I started to get into certain conversations. My barber would show me certain things, and it was like, rare, okay, that's how you move. Like they're the kind of things you should do. That's how you should conduct yourself. So
That's how you talk to gellies and.
yeah,
Yeah,
You know
because
what's
we had
different
Miles on the show.
Yeah.
From Trim
Trim
Direct.
Direct, yeah.
And you know he's a massive advocate of the barbershop as a place for young men to come and be around men of different ages in it and learn from them and stuff like that. So it's interesting to hear that in your life as well.
It's vital. I always say though, because especially if we're talking about co-parenting, a lot of men that aren't with the mum leave the mum to sort out the kids' haircuts, like the young boys' haircuts. To me, like it's not being sexist, but that's the role of that's part of the man and son relationship. Like the man that cut your hair should now be cutting your child's hair. Like you should own that. Take him to the shop. Like let him sit around the right people.
It's like a rite of passage, isn't it?
It is, man.
introduce
Yeah.
to the culture,
Yeah.
No, that's facts.
You know what's mad, yeah? Like, even the situation you was explaining where you ended up going to school after such a turbulent situation, yeah? I just think to myself so much, yeah, like how much, I don't know. I don't feel like I had a reason to punch people up in school, yeah? After hearing that, innit? And I still punched them up. Yeah. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, if I went to school and that was the situation, yeah, bro, like, because it's interesting hearing you speak about your life, innit? Because I always felt like I was just waiting for something. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I was waiting for something to pop up. Like my area was just that such and such area. Do you get what I'm saying? And the people that I hanged out with were such and such people in it. So it was kind of like, yeah. Something happens to one of my cousins, punch up. Talk to me anywhere, punch up. Say my mum, you're gonna get punched up in it. So like it's so mad that you managed to like even be in that environment. Do you know what I'm saying? Because
and navigate it so well.
Yeah, because everyone would have everyone like teachers got it when I was growing up, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like anybody would have got it. It would have been wild.
But I think that's credit to my mum. Like
definitely.
I think that's credit to my mum 100%. But it's openly, I'm still scarred from a lot of that stuff. Like I've been talking about going therapy. I know I need to go therapy because certain things now in relationships and when I have certain conversations like trigger me. And it's like one of the things that I can just highlight, right, is every time my dad would call me at like 6 o'clock and be like, yeah, I'm 10 minutes away. I remember I got school the next day. Yes, I'm young at the time. It would get to 9 o'clock. Oh yeah, I'm coming. 10:30 now. Oh yeah, I'm outside. What can I do at 10:30? So I would go outside, sit in the car with him, and he'd be like, right, like this is all I got. Give me a £10 and say, yeah, but I gotta go. Yeah. So then I started associating like, okay, seeing my dad with money. So you can't give me your time, so you're giving me your money.
Yeah.
To this day, I cannot give my children money. I can't actually. I've tried it. There was a birthday a year or so ago, and I was like, let me just put a little 20 in there for Amari as an extra gift. I was like, I can't do it. I just couldn't do it.
I feel like you're buying his.
I feel I know how that made me feel, but I'm nothing like him. But yeah, I still can't do that to my child.
Yeah. So do you feel like you see your relationship with your dad, yeah? Do you feel like it sowed the seed for you to be more present? Like, did you always feel like when I have kids, I'm going to be there for them? Or did you worry that you were kind of going to go down the same path and him and then...
No, I always knew I wouldn't go down the same path. But this is one of the things I teach with co-parent coaching, right? Is that based on how we grow up, whether we see something or don't see it, right? We have a kind of expectation of what we want or how things should be, right? How you two are raised is probably what you see as normal, right? And if you wasn't raised around normal, you would have got your version of normal from something. So to me, it was watching My Wife and Kids, The Cosby Show, Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
I would watch those programs, yeah, and to me, it would be, I want to be that kind of dad. That's the dad I want to be, the funny one who's got the wife that's funny and the kids and they got all these jokes and I'm mixed
Fresh
race,
Prince
so I could have
thing.
played any part anyway. Do you know what I mean? I could have been in any one of them shows. And for me, it was like, that's what I want. So when I had Amari at 22, me and his mum weren't in a great relationship. We'd only been together for probably 9 months and we was probably at the end of the relationship. And then she fell pregnant. So that's where the part kicked in where it was like, nah, this needs to work because I can't not be with the mother of my child like my dad was. So you then try and force something because of your fear and you're making it worse. We weren't good together. And I've always said the first 2 years of Amari's life, me and his mum were at it. Like, everything I teach now about how not to be is because I was that.
Yeah.
So then how do you feel like experience has played a role in your co-parenting relationship?
So I got to go at it twice, right? So I think like having Amari at 22, going through dramas and arguments and all of that, I learned there was a control element, yeah? There's that kind of like refusal. When you break up with the mother of your child, you kind of refuse to accept that she's not yours. That woman is not yours. The child is, but the woman's not yours. And as men, we often try to control the woman, right? And one of the ways I used to do that was with money. So, for example, I ended up getting put on child maintenance, right? But that's because the money I was giving his mum fluctuated every month based on how I felt.
Okay.
Yeah. So if, like, real talk, if I thought, she's behaved, yeah, here's a 250. Yeah. You pissed me off this month. I ain't got nothing. Yeah. I haven't got anything. So she ended up taking me CSA, and I was like, look, if you go CSA, you might get less. Right.
That's what a lot of guys say, though, isn't it?
Yeah. If you go CSA, you might get less. But I'll never forget what she said. She said, I'd rather get less and know I'm getting it every month than have you determine what I'm getting based on how you feel. And I was like, rare. So that's one example. When I then got with Tyler's mum and it didn't work out with us, I was like, look, like, let's talk about this. This is what you're gonna get. I'm not messing about. I want to be around more. I want to make sure you're good a bit more. Like, there was more of a respect there, but that could also be because they're two different women.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you feel like, with the whole co-parenting thing, do you feel like there was anybody to kind of help you navigate that situation? Or do you feel like you just had to kind of boss up and learn through experience?
I had to learn through experience. Like I said, there was a control. With me, it was very much like with Amari's mum, I remember like, no, I need to know where you're going. No, I need to know who you're chatting to. And because the more she wouldn't communicate with me, the more angry I would get. So then you start seeking more information. There was times when I would drive down to the area to just see like if anyone was around there, if I noticed any cars. And you become paranoid. And this is what I try and teach men now. Like, the best thing you can do is take a step back. When you break up with the mother of your child, what you're actually doing is you're then doubling down. You're like, no, I need to know this. Because in your head, although it's only been a day, she's got with a next man, she's got married, she's pregnant already, your child's got a stepdad. Like, it's like you're so paranoid. And it's like, take a step back. Taking a week away from your child to get your thoughts together for the benefit of your child is not a bad thing.
Yeah. When that was happening, did you feel like it was because you wanted to get back together with her? Or was it just a case of, no, I need to regulate the situation and make sure she's behaving?
Yeah, I need to control. I need to control. I need to know that's my child. So, like, I should know everything. Like I should, like, I don't know. Like I feel like with men as well, you've got tools where you can affect the woman. You can stop money. You can say, I know you want to go out this weekend, so I'm not going to have the child. There's elements where you can be so petty just to control the situation. But it was very much like, looking back on it now, like it's stuff I shouldn't have cared about. Like,
yeah.
And then when she eventually got with someone, paranoia kicked in even more. And that went through. That was crazy. Like,
And do you know what's crazy about this whole situation? Yeah, for me, it's like, you see, usually when you break up, yeah, like you do the opposite, innit? Well, I don't know, innit? Like maybe there's man them out here still acting like they got children when they don't have children, innit? But for me, you kind of do the opposite, especially me, innit? Like I'm like, okay, I don't owe you a single thing, innit? You know what I'm saying? Like you still get the spite, innit? But just in a slightly different way, because I'm like, I don't owe you a thing, innit? So all that nice stuff, honeymoon stuff we was doing. Do you get what I'm saying? Sweet, 2 ounces of sugar and that.
It's like he went from the platinum package to the bronze.
Yeah, you're on dial-up connection, my brother. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta show you the way. So when you're communicating with me, it's different, bro. Like, but I always think like, yeah, like having a child in that situation, I don't know, innit? I thought that it would have leveled the playing field, but actually, you're right. Like the male ego is crazy. Like,
you feel like you got more stake in it.
Because even think about when you end the relationship and you think, right, all right, this is done, innit? So you're like, all right, cool, innit? If you ask me something, innit, I'm gonna tell you the God's honest truth. Innit?
Yeah, that's how. Because for me, I don't know any of my exes anymore. Like none of them. I think it's and before I used to see it as a badge of honor, innit? But I think for me, it's a sign that I had issues with like closure, and I had issues with like vengeance as a person, innit? Like being vengeful. And so all of them got wiped out, innit? Which was great for Rox, innit? Because like she never had those issues that arise when you're kind of cordial with your ex-partner, innit? She never had none of that. She's like, where are all your exes? I'm like, in the desert, they're gone.
Buried them.
Wow,
man. Buried them.
You feel what I'm saying? So for me, it was just like, yeah. But I think about if there had been kids involved in it, how I would have navigated, knowing like I have that propensity for like being vengeful in it. I just, it's
you know, for me, think of it this way, like you were saying, yeah. If you break up with someone, like you can just lock them off, yeah. Like these done, like delete, complete delete, yeah. There's certain men and women, yeah, that go through heartbreak, depending on how it ended. Yeah, you got to deal with the heartbreak. Like, I remember, this is my last girlfriend, right? We were together for 4 or 5 years. We need to touch on moving on with kids as well. But we was together for about 4 or 5 years. And when I finally realized the relationship was done, I remember being in my bed and I'm lying down and I'm looking up at the lights. Yeah. An hour must have passed. Yeah. And man was like, you're just in bed looking up at the lights. Like, and I was fully dressed. It weren't like I was just, do you know what I mean? I just woke up and I was like, I was dressed. I was lying down looking at the lights and I was like, nah, you got to get yourself together. But when there's a child involved, I didn't have children with my ex, but when there's a child involved now, you've got to deal with all of those emotions. And rather than being able to, like you said, delete, you have to now communicate.
Yeah.
With someone that's broke your heart.
That's mad, yeah.
Yeah, that's so...
I'm on violence 24/7, man. Don't ring my phone, yeah. I don't care if it's child support. I'm violence, my brother.
I know him as well. He's not lying, you know?
I'll be like, what? So you couldn't make a commitment to me, but every first of the month you're there? Nah.
But how do you think a lot of that's come through age? Because I know people who've had kids like young, innit, like really young, and then they've broken up. Like there's one guy, I won't say his name, innit, but he don't really have a working relationship with his ex, innit, but every month, like payday, innit, she sends him the cash emoji.
That's mad, isn't it?
And that's how they communicate. Do you feel what I'm saying?
No direct debit. Like,
no, bro.
Man needs a reminder.
Every month.
Like, just set up a direct debit, innit? Like, why are you? Like, man would have set that up long time. Why am I getting the emoji every month? Like, let me just set out the direct debit.
Yeah, so they just, and it's just a proper turbulent relationship,
But it's
innit?
probably that. So going.
So I just think how much of that is having that happen to you extremely young, and then maybe not having mentors or guys who are in a position to be like, yo, this ain't really the way you're supposed to be. Like, look how quickly you found the solution.
Yeah.
Like, you found the solution, bro. I think till now, man's still getting the emojis, fam. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Like, I feel like guidance, like you said, like guidance there is that key element. But one thing I don't like is when men say, my dad wasn't around, so I don't know how to be a dad. Like, because I was without, therefore I've got no example of what a dad is. To me, my dad wasn't around. I didn't get shown how to be a dad. So what I done was look at how not to be a dad and do the opposite. Do you know what I mean? Like, Ray, he weren't there for me. I need to be there for my kids. Ray, he just gave me money and not his time. I need to give my kids time. Just like reverse it. Like, in my eyes. But
and I think, like maybe there's a level of maturity within yourself that has happened through a growth period where it's like, okay, let me think about it in a way that what is the best way that I can help this person so that I can help my family, because regardless of whether you adopt that person as a family member, it's like, as you said, you can't get rid of them. That's gonna be your baby mom. Like, your children are gonna go there. So I suppose maybe in it, like, I don't know in it, but maybe you kind of just matured with that and was like, oh, okay. Whereas actually, maybe he likes getting the money emoji in it, like he's like, because it might give him the power in it. It's like, okay, the money.
She's relying on
that's
me.
why he's not set up the direct debit.
Do I send this money? Do I not in it? I could start an argument. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and just be like, why are you always sending me cash emojis? Like, next time you do that, I'm not replying, innit? And then like it's gonna start the pattern, innit? And you don't mind, innit, guys? A little bit of ego off your chest.
But that's why I always say, like, to me, child maintenance, so many people are against it. And when I talk about it, I get certain men saying, oh, why are you chatting about that? Like, da-da-da-da-da. But to me, like, money should be paid, right? And it should be based off of what you can afford, not based on what you feel. Yeah, we shouldn't have control over where that money goes. A lot of men want control. Like, if I'm giving the woman £200 a month, I need to see receipts. I want to know what's going on. This. You're not giving her necessarily money. You're giving her money because you owe her money. Yeah, based on what she's covering throughout the month, rather than I'm giving you this money for a specific reason. It may be she's paid the bills. Do you know what I mean? Because she lives with your kid. She's had to buy extra food. She's paying petrol money. That money can go towards making that life easier. But some men want this control over, now it needs to be going on certain things. And to me, like I said, acceptance. I accepted from an early age, me and my child's mum do not get along, right? We literally now communicate via text. Yeah, we will talk on the phone if it's really needed, but we can navigate based off of text. Like, how's Amari? Is he all right? Like, can I get him earlier? Can I get him later? Certain people refuse to let go of that. No, it has to be a perfect relationship. I need this certain relationship with my child's dad. Why? If it's more peaceful for you to just communicate by text and then as and when, keep it moving. But make sure that there's a routine in place. With me, I see my child every other weekend, and on holidays we'll discuss it. But there's a pattern. When there's no pattern, you're having to communicate constantly with the other parent. And that's why, to me, have a routine, have consistency. Like, I say the co-parenting, stands for communication, consistency, cooperation. If you do those three, you'll provide the child with comfort. And that, to me, is like the main thing. The child should be comfortable.
Yeah. I think that's true. I mean, there's countless studies of families, and talking about stability. And when children have stability, they're able to perform better in school. They're able to do more extracurricular activities. Their creativity is better. They take more logical risks because they have that stability. Do you understand what I'm saying? Where everything's chaos, you get children who either take really egregious risks in it, or they don't take any risk because they're not sure how it's gonna pan out. And that can happen whether you have two parents who are living together and two parents who are not. If you have a wildly dysfunctional family and they stay together, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it looks on the outside like it's a better dynamic, but sometimes for the kids who have to occupy that same space, it ain't the same.
But like you said, there's stats that show that, like, there's 2.4 million separated families in the UK, right? And within those families, there's 3.5 million children. And they say that children that come from separated families are more at risk of some of the things you mentioned. But also, if one of the parents isn't working within those separated families, there's more of an increased risk. And if the child is constantly around, because what we often think is if we resolve conflict, no matter how it's resolved, as long as it's resolved, it's cool. Poorly resolved conflict has a very negative effect on the child.
Yeah.
And that needs to be highlighted. You can't just shout and cuss at each other and then all of a sudden take a day off and you're cool again. Your child's seeing that. They're not seeing how you're actually resolving it.
Yeah, it's true. So one of the criticisms is around relationships in it, and how maybe not having two parents in it can affect how you deal with romantic relationships in it. So do you feel like it had an effect on your relationship? You don't have to go into it to what you don't want to say, but do you know what I'm saying? Like,
what? So me being with someone,
yeah,
like, because I've got kids,
yeah.
No, like
and sorry, do you think it's oh man, just cut you. Sorry, yeah, but
bro, he was getting ready to drink the water as well, bro. You made him put the lid.
No, because I think this is a key part to the question, innit? And do you think it's easier for men with children dating as well? So I'll leave it there.
Definitely 100% easier for a man to date, because if you are not the main carer, yeah, you're not with your child 24/7. So therefore, like 80% of the time you're free. You don't have to worry about, oh, you know what, I need someone to watch the child, or I can't bring the girl back to my yard because the kid's there. Whereas the woman has to think about that, like, I can't bring the man home. I can't really see the man. I'm limited to as I can see. So she's a lot more restricted, which can have a really negative effect on the relationship, because certain men want all your attention. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean you're not free? Like, why are you never free? Like, our baby dad drama, like, it's too much. Me personally, I'm with someone now that's got 2 children. And knowing that she's got kids is comforting to me, because when I'm busy with my kids, there's an understanding.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, a woman with no children may not get that I'm not available, or, you know what, I'm over here doing this, like, or my relationship with my children's mum is actually quite cool. Like, I'm going around there to sort something out. Certain women won't, they find that uncomfortable. So I think it's definitely easier for the man. Me moving on, I came out of my last relationship, right? And I think we've all done this, where you may have broken up with a girl and let's just say, I don't know your type, but let's just say she had curly hair, and she was like,
bang on the money.
Come on, bro.
Bang on the money.
What you been telling this, brother? Yeah, that's on the money, man. Curly hair makes man swoon, bro. I don't even swoon, bro. Like, I malfunction, bro. Like, it's wild. Not anything with curly hair, but you know. Like,
I'm gonna try to see which one of our followers in it kind of changed their hair.
All right, yeah, sorry, we digress.
But you may go for a certain type of girl, and you may get that girl and then break up with her and say to yourself, I'm not dating no one younger than me anymore. Yeah, you know what? That girl's got bun girls with curly hair, because you now connect like the past to your potential future.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's not to say that, like, for me, it was, I don't want to date anyone with kids. I don't want to date anyone younger than me, because my last relationship was quite a negative one, right? So I came out of it with this idea of, I'm avoiding these type of women. And the woman I'm with now is younger than me and she has kids. So everything I said I'm not going to do, I've now done, because I realized it wasn't the fact that she was a mum. It wasn't the fact that she was younger than me. It was the fact that she wasn't right for me. And we often get so caught up in the things that the woman has or does, not realizing, no, she just wasn't right for you. The right woman for you could have 3 kids. Could be like 5 years younger than you, 2 years younger than you. But stop like cutting the market short because you're like comparing everyone to your ex. Let go of that ex.
Yeah, you see it sometimes where you see girls and they're young and they're beautiful and they got their long list, you know, and then they're 30, ain't got no one, and then the list get a little bit shorter. Then they get to 35 and there's like 4 things on the list.
But you know what my barber said to me? Yeah? He said to me that because when I was single, I was talking to him about, I don't want to date anyone with children, right? And he said, you're being hypocritical for one, because you're coming to the table with 2 children. Yeah. And he said, the older you get, the less likely you're going to meet someone that doesn't have kids.
That's what Sammy said to me. Yeah.
Like, so if I'm approaching the later part of 30, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I need to meet someone that hasn't got kids, my chances of that are so much more reduced now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I got a friend that refuses. He's on these dating sites filtering no kids. Yeah. And to me, it's like, you might meet someone amazing and she has 1 kid, but because you're so bent on
not having
kids, you're actually meeting these dead women that aren't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're having no luck in the pond you're in anyway. Why not just come out of this pond and try a little 1 kid here? Like,
it's true. It could change your life. Like, you know.
Yeah. Facts.
Yes.
I think that's a lesson for like all of us, innit? Because I feel like men are very prideful, innit? Like women are taught about the wedding, the Prince Charming, the unrealistic expectations in terms of that. But guys are taught that our preference and our ego is king. Like from very early, you know, it's like you're the man of the house. Oh, you're my son. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's like an ownership.
Ownership. Yeah. So as you go through life, it's like, but I'm that guy, innit? You may not be that guy, especially in a pond of other guys who think they're that guy.
Yeah.
You may not be that guy. You may not have any strength. You may not be the smartest like guy. You may not be financially well off. You're not that guy, innit? Like whoever, you can pose yourself to 10 females, innit? They're gonna tell you that against so and so and Mr. Tyrone over there, innit?
Like
Tyrone,
you know, it always makes me laugh, when you get in a situation and some guy comes in with his missus, and then like somebody will come into the room, innit? And suddenly they want to be near their missus all the time.
All the time, yeah.
You know?
And they just like put their arm around there, like, yo, this is my one here, you know. And it's like, bro, I can see what you're doing, you know.
It's not even
like,
just that,
you
bro.
look mad nervous.
Do you know what's mad about the whole
You know what I'm
situation? You see that whole situation there, yeah? The thing that makes me laugh the most, is I'm like, but you are not your missus, my brother. You've got no idea what she's thinking when I roll up. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mr. Zara in the flesh.
Yeah, so it doesn't. Not even, bro.
Discount though.
Because I'm like, like you can do the whole thing, but if she's scoping, you see that video that we watched before, And then he was just licking her lips when the athlete was the bodybuilder.
Yeah, Flex.
Well, when the bodybuilder Flex came on, innit? And I'm like, putting your arm around your girl don't stop that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. Like, if she is so turned on by the physical appearance of the other guy there, you would hope she would be respectful, innit? But, you know, like, if she's so turned on and her body starts moving mad, your little arm thing, ain't saving you, my brother.
It's actually better. She probably think it's better annoying.
Yeah, bro.
You know?
But that's what I've always said. I actually had this conversation the other day. I said, you know what? If a woman, I'd use a terrible word. I said it's takeawayable. Yeah. Like, I don't even know why I said the same word now. Like, but because that was in private, I just announced it to the world. Like, if a man can come and take your woman away, all you're doing is delaying that. By trying to hold on to her and prison her and let her be taken, bro. Because then you're gonna meet someone that wants to stay.
That I've said that on countless occasions. I have no problem with single people shooting their shot with people who are in relationships, and I might think it's distasteful, but I got no issue with that. My issue is people who are saying that they're in a relationship and saying that they're committed, allowing themselves to be taken away, innit? You know, and I think the burden always has to be on the person who's in a relationship. That's basically how I feel.
But that situation there is mad, isn't it? I don't even know if you want to go into that way. Like, that situation is mad because I think that, as you said, it's distasteful, isn't it? But again, the onus is on the person. But I mean, how much do you put that? Because Like
No,
like
fully,
a
bro.
lot of people can push, bro. Like because remember that even when we talk about like sex and consent, yeah. Look how many men are just so slimy with it. It's like, oh yeah, she said no in it, but like, no, man can kind of, and you're just like, bro, like, why is it that deep in it? Like, you're talking to your man, them telling them, oh, you're a gallus, you can do A, B, and C, and it just find another girl, my brother. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, she said no, it's not that deep, innit? You don't need to bust on up that second right there, innit? But
you're a weird guy, man.
you know, but people do that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So imagine now we take away the sex aspect, yeah, and it's just you and your miss, and the guy's just forceful. I know it's you would say it's on your missus, isn't it? Because she's in the relationship, innit? But some of the tactics are just mad.
Yeah, but then because
but
you know,
would you just say the game is the game?
No, because for me, yeah, it's like raw. If he goes that extra mile, you're now talking about a criminal act. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're talking about a criminal act.
Yeah.
And that's something that's gonna get me mad. I'm going to prison, bro. I'm going to prison.
But what if he pushed it like where you thought it was about to be too far, and then you go?
The Lord don't give you more than you can handle.
Hey, man.
You know what I'm saying? So like, you need to handle that as a. You said you want to be in this relationship. You said you wanted to be in a relationship. You said you wanted to be married. So take it to the nth degree until your back feels like it's gonna break out of alignment. That's what you swore to. That's why I'd get mad at these like a bunch of young people talk about commitment. They don't know nothing about commitment, bro.
Bro, I can't lie. I was
bro, I phoned this dude, yeah, when this girl's trying to stick it on me. And at that time, I wasn't married. I was dating Roxanne, yeah.
Okay.
And she was like, the first she tried to drop it, yeah, I'm gonna use the bar for a minute. So I was like, why are you telling me? And then, bro, it's mad, isn't it? It's thinking I'm Sainsbury's or something like. Anyway, and then she got more aggressive as the night went on, innit? And I was just like, I basically was like to her. I was basically like to her, if I was your man, yeah, would you appreciate a woman doing
what you're doing?
Innit?
Oh, because she knew you was dating.
Yeah, she knew I was dating. Like she knew, like because it was. I'm not like a lying kind of guy, innit? Everyone knew that I was dating at the time, and so I remember rushing home, like, because I think you might have been at uni. I can't remember where you were or whatever, but I remember phoning you.
Yeah, I remember you phoning.
And I was phoning. I was like, bro, like, man didn't cheat, you know.
Yeah,
like, I was just so
happy about it,
bro. I was so gassed because you know what, growing up for a person like because like for me, yeah, I've had issues around saying no to women, innit? Because when I was growing up, I grew up around a group of friends who were very comfortable around women, innit? And they were very confident, and I was never like that. Do you feel what I'm saying? And so I never got a lot of. And I'm an observer sometimes as well. So if I'm in a place I don't know too much, I just sit and I observe. I don't say a lot. And then, so when I started actually dating, it was kind of like, I couldn't say no to no girl because I felt like I was either wasting time, innit? Like, bro, one day my things are not going to work, innit? Let me mash work now, innit? And so when you get into a relationship, when you have emotional baggage or issues like that, innit? You always wonder, like, is it gonna spill out? Like, are you gonna be able to honor the commitment that you're making? So when I was able to do that in real time with somebody who's actually quite attractive, bro, man felt like I won the lottery.
And you hadn't even got to wedding day.
I was like, what? I must love this girl.
It's like hitting the finish line before you hit the finish
line.
Bro,
it was mad. It was mad. So I phoned on and I was like, bro, man didn't do it, bro. Man didn't do it.
Can you imagine how weird that was for me, innit? Because I was 3 years younger at the time, innit? So I was just like, my brother, why are you dialing me like this? You know what I'm saying?
But I think there's a lot of pressure on men in that sense. I remember when I was 14 and I was dating this girl at the time. I can't remember her name. Yeah, but I remember I was round her yard, and I think although we was young, she wasn't a virgin. Yeah, so it's like that moment where you've got a free yard, and I felt uncomfortable. I was like, I don't want to, like, I just don't want to, innit? Like, and I remember leaving the yard, and she must have spoke to some of her friends or some people that knew me, and I got told, I flopped and this and that. But in my head, looking back now, I'm like, I'm so glad that weren't my first time, like, because that. Nah, like, you just can't. Do you know what I mean? That's just not the way for it to be. And not that my first time was like magical and roses and all of that. But it was like, at least I was in a relationship that I was comfortable in, and it was natural rather than, oh, we got a free yard, we must do it now.
Yeah. All that pressure.
But this is what I say. When we look at those stats, 2.4 million like separated families, right? There has to be a reason for that, right? Like people are having children and relationships aren't working, or people are having children outside of relationships. And to me, like I think we was discussing it here, we don't really at a young age understand what love is. Do you know what I mean? Like when you really think about it, I think we're miseducated on what love is, because everyone's version of it is different.
Slightly
do you know what I mean? Like I used to say, the film Baby Boy, like growing up, I used to watch that film all the time. And there's a scene in it where Jodie and I can't remember her name in the film, but they're on the staircase and they're going at it. And he's like, I hate you. And she's like, I hate you too. And then the next minute it cuts to them having sex.
I love you.
And I was like, that's love. I was like, I need a girl like that. I need a girl I can cuss out. And then still have sex with. And we can just carry on. And then I think she cooked him a food. She did, and I was like, listen, that's what I need. But that is so toxic. And I didn't really I wasn't shown love. I didn't have a picture of, my mum and dad are in love, or this is what love is. So then you start to think, you get into a relationship and you think love is a feeling. Like, oh, I've got butterflies, or I've got this. Love isn't a feeling, because those feelings, butterflies aren't going to last. Like, I'm sure you don't get butterflies now. You're where a lot of men want to be, married. Like years in, like I'm sure you don't get butterflies now, but you may have those moments. You may even have those moments where you get angry with your wife. But you know what? You're committed, and you're comfortable enough. I like to be in a relationship where I'm comfortable enough to mess up and know my woman's still got me. To be able to have my woman cuss me out, because I've done wrong, but no, she still loves me. Rather than like, oh yeah, but I don't get that feeling anymore. Like, oh, so what? The relationship's dead now because I don't have that feeling. No, we're miseducated.
That bit in it is like the drug, and I feel like that's why a lot of people don't commit for a long time, because they're in love with that first moment where you're sleeping with each other all the time and you can't get enough of each other, and you don't know that real person. You don't know the real side to them yet, and they don't know the real side to you. And as soon as you have to boss up and be like, well, this is the real side to me, I actually have financial difficulties in it. Then it's a different conversation, isn't it?
But are we having those conversations? Like to me, even though I'm content now in my relationship, right? Looking back, I'm like, I should have had certain conversations at the start that I didn't have. And I'm like, if I had those conversations 5 years ago with my ex, probably wouldn't have got with my ex. But all you care about is, I said this on our last one, like, oh, what kind of comedians do you like? Do you know what I mean? Oh, what music you into? You like DMX? I like DMX. You like Boyz II Men? I like Boyz II Men. Like, So it becomes covered by these things that really don't matter. What is the substance? Like, what are your religious beliefs? Like, what are your views on family? What are your family like? Do you know what I mean? Let's really get to know each other. Like, the partner I'm with now, love her to bits, but I did not meet her. It took us, I'll probably say like 6 months before we met face to face. It was in lockdown. We was getting to know each other over social media, and we said, let's not meet. Not because we couldn't meet, we could have, but it was like, let's actually get to know each other through messaging, through FaceTime, through this, through that, and then meet. And by the time we met, it was like, this is my best friend. But there wasn't that element, because if we had met beforehand, and I've done this in the past, you meet someone, there's that physical attraction, you might go back to yours, and then before you know it, you've only known them a week, but you're having sex. And it's like, now if they get on your nerves while you're trying to get to know them, you're like, oh, she's getting on my nerves, but the sex is good, so let me just go see her to have sex. And men will put up with the most just because they know the beat is
smash.
Good.
Yeah. It's true. So just rounding things up, innit, like, I wanted to talk about your book, innit? Because you showed me, like, I'm very honored, innit, that you showed me this book, innit? There you go. And like, I was proper, I don't want to say surprised, innit, because that sounds like a dickhead thing, innit? Like, but
I didn't know you was capable. I thought you could only do press ups. Man had no belief.
no, but it's the detail in the book and how it brings people together. Because a lot of the time when you see books like this, it's like an information pack for a parent to use to kind of navigate their children, innit? But what you've actually created is a book that brings a parent and their child closer together, innit? In a joint activity. Yeah. And that's where it got me. Because I thought when you said a book, I thought like, okay, it's gonna be like a manual for parenting.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And it's something I think that is a bit better, innit? So can you just talk about your inspiration for the book? And
so the book's called Learn From Me. I'm proper gassed. Like by the time you don't see this episode, it'll be available on Amazon. Well, it's available now, but man hasn't sent a link to anyone yet.
Okay.
Because I wanted things to roll out at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I said, looking back on my childhood now, right? I'm like, if there were certain things I knew when I was 16, when I was 14, whether it was about nutrition, whether it was about finances, or just overcoming like certain obstacles in life when life hits you down, like I would be in a better position now. But no one, like we spoke here, there was no one to show me that. Yeah. So mum was off doing what she could, but we didn't really have time to sit down and, mum, talk to me about resilience. Like, teach me about things you've overcome in your life. Like, mum, like, how can I make sure that financially I'm in a better position? Like, talk to me about. No, it was like mum would go off, I'll play computer, like, and now there's even more computers. So I look at my children and I'm always trying to drill home, you know what, you lot need to do this more and this more and this more. And I realized they don't necessarily take it in. So I was like, let me create something where I can sit with my children and say, let's go through this book. Yeah. Another man can sit with his child and say, let's go through this book and turn off the computers, go through this book and learn with your child, learn about your child, let them learn about you, but then the child can take the same book and go to another uncle, auntie, or whatever and learn something completely different. So within the book, we touch on resilience, nutrition, what the child wants to be when they're older, and finances. So just 4 topics, but there's so much for you to do together. So yeah, I'm proud, bro. Like this has taken a year of trying to perfect it and back and forth, and our man actually has a book now. So
yeah, that
is sick, bro. Like I told you, I'm proud, fam.
Yeah, come on.
Bang.
There you go.
Learn from me, people. Let your child learn from you.
Facts. And it's gonna be available Amazon, yeah?
Yeah. So yeah, once, like probably start of Feb, I'll release the link and everything. So yeah, things are, I feel blessed. I feel like things have fallen into place with the co-parent coaching, with the book, coming on the podcast, like, but I just wanted to say as well, yeah, man's proud of you too. My guy. On a serious note, yeah, like for day one followers, yeah, like this looks mad now, yeah, it's beautiful, yeah. But we used to be on the other side, yeah. I think it was just the table, and I think they had, I don't want to boy them off, but it was like a cassette player. It was like a cassette player on a table. I didn't know where to talk into. Like if you was too far away, you wouldn't get picked up. But you know what? When I think of these two, I just think of like, it just comes into my mind like, no matter where you're starting, just start.
Yeah.
Because so many people wait for the right piece of equipment, the right time, the right person to help them out, and they waste a year waiting. You guys just said, we're going to start. And within a year, you've got so much more experience. You started to navigate differently. And now you've got this. So like, honestly, bro, like, man's proud.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
And you know what's mad, yeah? It's funny, yeah? Because I was literally about to say the same thing, innit? Because I remember, yeah, when you first jumped on the podcast, you was like, nah. I want to come back when my stuff is together. This wasn't right. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, innit? Let's see, innit? Like, showing proof, innit? You know how the hood goes. So I was like, raw, okay, let's see, innit? And raw, like, you sitting here today, yeah, speaking to the people about your journey, like, so openly and honestly, but not just that, but showing how much you had to go through and how much you had to learn, and then putting a resource together to help families, yeah. Bro, like, I don't even think you understand, bro. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even just the growth, innit? It's just the, I don't even know. Like, I don't know how to put it into words, innit? It's just like,
You're a podcaster, try.
It's ineffable.
Okay.
You know what? One more thing. I'm gonna Google that word for 1 minute. But secondly, I'm also delivering co-parent workshops. So my first one will be on the 4th of February in Croydon with the Institute of Wellbeing. I'm going to be down there delivering a co-parent workshop, opening the conversation on co-parenting, taking you through like a presentation I put together to kind of help us openly talk about it, navigate around it, the kind of do's and don'ts, or like learn from me type of experiences. And I want to start going into different organizations and talking about that, because I feel there's not enough information about co-parenting, and B, support for co-parenting. So like, to me, it falls under well-being. Like there's
Definitely.
co-parents that are really struggling to cope. So let's open the conversation and make people feel like this is normal rather than they're being judged. So,
so lastly, where can people find you if they want to get in contact with you?
raisingboys_to_men. Like, follow me on Instagram. That's the main thing. Rather than me giving other avenues, just follow that page, support that page. If there's any content you like, if you want to DM me and ask me a question. I'm very accessible in that sense. So yeah, like, boys, like, this has been...
Yeah, it's been sick.
Yeah, bro, I proper enjoyed it. So, ladies and gentlemen,
that is what we're about to call it, a wrap, baby.
So my name is Sammy.
My name is Don.
And we've been a family.
Bow.